through and work through my whole normal newborn editing process using portraiture and also MCP's newborn necessities. I have this image open. I already went through and fixed the exposure and all that with Adobe Camera Raw. And so now I have this image that I'm pretty happy with. And so I'm going to go ahead and start to run portraiture. She does have, overall pretty good skin, so it's going to be a pretty easy edit. But I just like a little bit more smoothing going on with her skin to kind of even and fix things. So the first thing we're going to do is duplicate the background layer. And then we're going to go ahead and run portraiture. Okay, so the first thing you'll see is that I have set it up so that the original image is on top and then the after is down here on bottom. Now you can see right here, you can change it. This one here is how I think it normally comes. And you click and hold down and it'll show you. I didn't really like that, so I changed it. You can do it however you want. Over here you can see that you can pick different smoothing levels. I like to use smoothing normal. You can pick however you want. I think this has enough smoothing going on that I wouldn't have to bump it up any. This here kind of it automatically picks the skin tone and kind of evens everything out. You can see in her face here, she's got a little bit of redness and she's kind of uneven all over, and this just kind of, makes her one nice color and just looks really nice. So if you're happy with everything, then you can just go ahead and click OK and let it run. And it's going to run on our background copy so that we can change the opacity, mask it off, and all that, which I'm going to do in just a second when it finishes running. And I just find this is really easy because if you run it right on your background layer, it's kind of just stuck at full opacity and it's hard. You can use your history brush or your eraser tool to get it off the details, but I just find it's the easiest way to do it. So now that it's run, we're just going to create a mask, and I'm also going to change the opacity because she looks very much like a doll and I don't like that. So I'm going to bring it down probably to around 60% or so. I kind of like it right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my brush and I'm just going to start masking off on the areas that I don't want it. I don't like to run it on the hair. I think it just kind of looks a little bit weird, so I like to mask it off right there. And then zoom in for you a little bit. And then I'm going to take it off her lips and her eyes and her nose. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to take it off her feet because I like the detail of those to be there. And overall, she does have pretty nice balanced skin tone now. She does have a couple spots here and there that we can fix, but I'm going to go ahead and take a snapshot of that and then flatten down my layer. So before that, I just wanted to show you really quickly the difference. So if you click this little eye, it'll take off the portraiture layer and you'll be back to your original. And click it on and you can see the overall effect. So then we're going to flatten. And I'm just going to do some quick little correcting. I'm going to take my spot healing brush and I'm just going to get rid of this little line here. So I'm just going to run it right along there. And let that do its magic. I really like the spot healing brush. A lot of the time it's a lot easier to use than the clone tool, I find. So that's really nice. And as you can see, that line is gone and not noticeable anymore. So let's zoom in and see. I'm just going to run it right there where she has a little red spot. And then maybe there. Just anywhere that you think that, you want to get rid of anything. Now these little lines here don't bother me. You can always get rid of them if they do bother you. Okay, so I think that is pretty good. Let me just run that really quick. Okay. Then I'm going to just take another snapshot now that I have all that done, and then I'm going to start in on my actions. Again, I'm using the newborn necessities, and I'm just going to start right here with a diaper bag that lets me mix and match all of these different actions right here, and I really enjoy these. I always start off with using these and then work on to color correcting or anything like that if I have to, which I don't think I'll have a lot to do. Her eyelids are a little bit shiny, but we'll fix that in just a minute. So while all these go through and run, it takes just a minute because it is loading so many at one time, but it is so helpful to be able to just click them on and off and get the desired look that you want without having to run multiple actions over and over again. Almost done. Okay. So I'm going to start off right at the top. Sugar and spice is one of my all-time favorites, and I use it on almost every single image. And then I also really like Pick Me Up. It just gives it a really nice boost, and I really enjoy that. And then Keepsake is one that I run a lot. So I do like that. You can click them on and off again to see the different effects. So I do like that overall thing, so I think that's pretty good. Again, take a quick snapshot and then I'll flatten my image. There's also a nice black and white set here, which I do really like and oftentimes use, and then I'm just done. So there's that. We'll discard all of our hidden layers. And while that's flattening, you can see that it really took care of most of the uneven skin that was left. There was a little bit of redness here. She still does have a little bit of redness around her eyes where they're also a little bit shiny, but I'm just going to take care of that in just a second. But everything else looks really nice. I don't think her feet are too red. She doesn't have any redness around her bum. I just think it looks really nice. And this flattening is taking forever. I had to shut down all the other programs on my computer just to get this to work with the screen recording program because it was just making everything so slow. I promise you it doesn't normally take this long to flatten these actions down, even though there is a lot of them. I definitely have to say that I have got my money's worth out of these MCP actions, so if you're thinking about it, you definitely should go ahead and purchase those. To fix her eyelids, though, I'm going to go into another action set of theirs. It's called Bag of Tricks, and they have an action that's called Shiny Skin Vanisher, if I could talk, and it's right here. And so I'm just going to run this, and then I'll kind of help even out her eyelids a little bit. So I'm just going to zoom in here if I can. And then I'm just going to select a little area of skin that I do like and want the rest of her eyelids to be. And then I'm just going to hit OK and let that run. And then it creates a nice mask for us to just paint on over and fix it. So just run that. And it gets rid of all the discoloration and makes it so they're not so shiny. So now that's done. Just another snapshot. Flatten. And then just a little bit of sharpening to do on her details. And I'm going to use sharp eyelashes. I really like this. Okay, so then I'm just going to take that on her lips, along her eyelids, or her eyelash line, around her nose, and then I'm just going to take it around her little toes. I like those to be nice and sharp. And then I ran that at 100% opacity on my brush, and then the layers at 100%, and that's just a little bit too much. So I normally take it down to around 50% here, 52, so I can click the little eyeball and take it off and see if I can see no noticeable difference, and I can, and I think that's looks pretty good. You can also see where I ran it right here on her eyelids. It did come back a little bit more shiny, so I'm going to mask off right there just a little bit. Okay, and then you can take another snapshot and then flatten it. And the snapshots just allow you to go back to a certain spot and fix it if you mess up or whatever, so I really like that. So the last thing I want to do is crop, because she's a little bit out of center. And that's bothering me, so I'm just going to crop it down to 5x7. I normally crop anyways, so it just works out. No, that's not how I like it. Okay, I think that looks good. And then we're done. So here would be our finished image, and I'll go up and show you the original here. So here's the original we started out with, and then again our finished product. So that's everything. I hope it was a little bit helpful.